Hi again. In this video, we'll do some actually querying of some conduits. Okay, so um, I think what we're gonna start with is to try query one of the customer ends and kind of try to go from here and all the way up here to, let's say, the cabinet where the customer is connected. You can imagine when you click on the system, you click on customer. We want, of course, to see how this customer is connected on the conduit level also. That should be possible to see that. And this will be quite simple because it's only like one pipe ending here or one conduit ending here that we can trace all the way up. And after that, we can look at the more complex one where we go to the cabinet and query from there. So we start with this guy here. And if we take the QGIS, it will be this guy here, the one here. And this guy, if you notice it has a ID. Why can I not click on the ID? I cannot. Yeah, it has an ID in this test data set. It's called 44. And then, oh, sorry, this was the wrong one. If you see this unique ID here, this is just the way the demo network or the test network is built, is that we take this ID from the test data set and then we have a fixed unique UID and we just put the 44 here in the end. So this is the guy. So I can try carry this one. And you can see I just tried to query this root node and then get the name out. And you can see the name is this I and 1 and 5 zeros and 3. And that's also the name here. So we got the right one, right? This is the installation number of the customer. In a real telco, this will be some random number coming from a customer system properly. But I just call them like this, and I call them like this, and I put the 3 here because it's house number 3. So, but yeah, it's just to have some data, right? So we get the right one. So let's try to kind of get the conduits that's related to this guy. And the way we do that is to run the query or go through the field called related conduits. And inside that, there is something called relation type and something called conduit and something called conduit segment. I'll get back to these. But let's take something out from the conduit. Just take the name, color, shape, for example. Just check. So now I will query all the related conduits, and for each of them, each of these relationships, I want some conduit information out, the name and the color and the shape of the conduit. And you can see here that there's one conduit going inside this node. That's expected, right? It's incoming. So what does that mean? It means that it's running from here to here. So it's going inside this. You can imagine you can have a point that can come, pipes can go in and some can go out and so forth. It's just the direction of it, the way that the planner has drawn it. He could actually have started here and put it out here. Then it will be an outgoing pipe. It doesn't really matter. It's just telling you how it was kind of connected. And its name is this. This is just a random name I give it. Or I put a counter on. And in real life, they might kind of have given them name in the DS system. Each of the pipes they put in the transits. Maybe not. Maybe they have these names. But now I put it out, and it's a orange one, and it's round. You can also give something like for example, the outer diameter, 12. So it's 12 millimeter thick. And you can also get the type of conduit. Let's take it. Take as the first thing here. It's a single conduit. Okay, so we have a single conduit starting here and going here. Actually, we don't know if it go here. We can figure that out. So let's try to see if that's the case. And you can do that by calling something called a from node, start node, what's it called? From root node, yes. And let's get the ID of that one. And then you also get the name. And then we take the tunnel node name. Okay. So you can see here the from root node has this ID and it's called nothing. And the to root node has this ID and it's called the installation number. You might, why doesn't this one has no name? Well, it has no name, this one, because they don't name these. I mean, this is just, branch out point in the network. So this node, it has no name, but this one is named like this. But we can check that the ID is correct. Click on it. You can see it has ID 87. And you can see here, yeah, it's correct. So this one says we have a related conduit. It's a single conduit. It has its name, it's orange, it's round, it's blah, blah, blah. And it goes from this node to this node. Okay. So here you have all the needed information to be able to display it or visualize it or mark it in the map. You can actually get more than this. I can say I want all the segments, for example, all root segments, and I want the geometry, and I want the coordinates. Oh, sorry. Yeah, like this, for example. Okay, that's one, right? Not that funny, but now we get the geometry of this guy here. So you can also get the geometry, of course, of the nodes if you want that. Just remove this. There's another information I like to tell you about. This is you can also get on the conduit you can get their manufacturer and model information. It's placed in something called asset info. Inside asset info, there's something called manufacturer, and you can get, for example, the name of the manufacturer. There's something called model, and you can get the name of the model. That's a type of the product type, like this. So you can see here this conduit that goes into the customer is a manufacturer called GM Plast. This is a Danish manufacturer name, and the name of that conduit is just Ö12, and Ö means it's a Danish kind of special character. And actually it means, we always use that with the round pipes, it means 12 means it has a diameter of 12 millimeter. So it's just a simple orange, conduit made by these guys here. So now you know how to access the conduit manufacturer name and model name. Okay, let's try, we remove all this stuff here. Okay, so we have this guy here. So let's try now to see how is this guy connected to the world. How is this guy, if it's connected, how is it connected, to, the cabinet feeding this customer? That's what we like to know. If we go back to our little drawing here, so we are here, right? And I want to know how this pipe here is connected to the world, you can say. So we know, because I know I have made this test data, that this guy is actually connected to a inner conduit in the multi-conduit that goes up to a cabinet. So it's connected here, and there's a connection here to a inner conduit of a multi-conduit up here. So one of these flat liners that goes into the trench here is cut here, one of the inner conduit, and connected to this, okay, like this here. So to be able to kind of get that information, to be able to kind of visualize that information in the map, you can imagine we want this segment and this segment, right? We don't want to visualize this and this whole inner conduit here, right? So we want to go to the segment level and trace, right? So this is what we're gonna do. So when we have these related conduits, you can get to the actual conduit itself. This is this guy here. So this is the colored thing here you get access to. But if you want to trace, you have to get to access to the segment that you are related to, right? So you can imagine this orange thing, this orange contour could actually be cut many places and have many segments. In this case, this one only have one segment because it's not cut. Okay, I don't know if it makes sense. I hope so. So we make the way to access that is you say conduit segment. So now we're accessing the black stuff inside it. And this guy, the conduit segment, I can ask, okay, is this part of a line? I want to know something about this line. So the line concept is that, okay, we have this segment and this segment, they're connected together. So the line is containing these two segments. You can think of it as a metro railway substation line where each junction is a station, and each of these black hair is connection between two stations. So this is known as a line, right? So I want the line that this particular segment is part of, and some information on that line. And what I want to know is actually where it starts and ends. That could be a nice information, because when you click, you remember the UI, when you click on the on a pipe then you actually want to know where does it start and end. How it's connected all the way to wherever it ends. And this is the line information we're going to access there. So we do something called line, and inside that line you can get all kind of stuff. You can get where it starts. I want to know where this one starts. Just get the name of the node. I want to know where it ends and the name of the node. Let's try this one first. Okay, see, bingo here. So I have the related conduit. I'm going to the segment level. I look at the line information from this segment point of view. So what is this segment connected to? And I want the start of the end of this line. So where does it start? It starts actually here, and it ends here. That's not surprising, because that was also what I have done. So this customer is connected all the way up to this SP1010 cabinet. Okay. Now I can try. Now I got like the start and the end of the line. If you want to dive into this line and see what kind of segments actually does this line consist of. So if I say I want this guy and I want this guy, because I want to maybe mark them in the map or something when you click on it in the UI. You can do that by say all conduit segments. Just remove the start and end. We don't care about these now. And I want to have what should I print out? I want let's just take the conduit information out on them. Name and kind. Okay. You can see here, now I'm tracing. So say, okay, this black one here is part of a line. What is this line consist of? So it consists of this one, this conduit segment, and this conduit segment, right? And you can see that's true here. That's a single conduit. This is one from the customer to the trans in the road. And then there's one was an inner conduit, which is actually number one inner conduit of a pipe going up to the cabinet. So this is this guy here, right? The guy here going inside this flatliner. So let's try to get some more information now about this one. So I can say parent name all kind. This is of course a multi-conduit. We expect that. What we like to know the let's take the text marking, conduit marking. We want the name. Let's take a name out. Let's take the method info manufacturer name. I also want model name. You can see here we have a conduit. It's in a conduit. It's part of a multi-conduit, and this multi-conduit actually have a blue marking, and that's correct because what I did when I put the when I put the two multi-conduits down here, I put two of the same kind, each of them having 12 inner conduits, and the one of them has a blue marker, and another one has I think a black marker on it. So this one here is actually connected to the multi-conduit with the blue marker, and it's a flat line of 12 multiplied with 12, 8 inner ducts. So now you can see you have actually all the information all the way up how this customer is connected from its single conduit to a multi-conduit and so forth. And you can access all kind of information you want. Let's say you want the conduit segments. Let's say you just want to display it in a map, mark it in a map. You can just say I want all root segments. I want there. So this is all the root segment that these conduit segments span, right? I want the geometry. I want the coordinates. Boom. Now you have all the stuff that goes through. So this is the first conduit. I like some little more information. It's annoying you cannot see, for example, the name of the conduit. Okay, so this is the kind. I also want the kind. So this is the single conduit. This is a customer conduit. Has this ID, whatever, and this has these coordinates. So this is all the coordinates you need to, highlight this part of the conduit line, the conduit segment line. And then you have an inner conduit, and this has all, actually it has all these segments. That's actually weird. That's a lot. I think I have made a mistake there. I think you get all the for the whole inner duct. You should only get it from this guy. I made a mistake in the code, I think, because what we want here is only to get the geometry, of course, for this part, right? But I think you get it from the whole thing here. I think I make it because I have to get, actually have a function to only get this, but I call the wrong function in the code. I should make a unit test to test this. So it's probably the same as if I took all the segment from this inner duct. Can try to do that. That's good. I found an error in the code. So if I take all the root segments, if I took the conduit geometry, it will be the same, I guess. Let's take the conduit. Geometry. See, what does it one return? Conduit. Can I not do that? Segment kind. Oh, sorry. I have the conduit here. If I take the geometry of the conduit, if I copy this one here, take all the root segment of the conduit itself, probably be the same. Yeah, actually it's the same. So you have the single conduit, you have the inner conduit. The inner conduit have all these. So the problem is I should, of course, if I take the segments of the conduit segment, I take the root segments of the conduit segment, it should only get this guy here. If I take the root segments of the inner conduit, which goes all the way here, it should get this and this and this. But the problem is if I get the root segments of this guy, I also get this and this and this, and this is an error in the code. I will fix that. So I think we'll stop here from now, because now you saw the querying from a customer point, and I will stop this video because it's become quite long now, and I'll create a new one where I'm gonna query um, from the cabinet instead, because then it gets more complex because you get all the multi-conjoins and the inner conjoins and all the stuff. And then I will fix this error so you get the right segments out when you are querying on the conduit segment level. Because otherwise, when you begin to do the UI and marking, it will kind of mark too much. I mean, then when you click this guy here and say the conduit, then it will mark this and all the way down here. We don't want that, of course. It should only kind of show that it goes like here, and then it connects to this inner conduit and goes up here. So I'll fix that and make a new video. Okay, bye bye.